Now, I'm sure, like when you were a kid, you had to work hard to get to the level of hockey you're at. I mean, what was it? Just give us a background of what it was like playing hockey in San Diego. What were your youth hockey days like?
Well, I was I was actually on the chunkier side when I was really young. Until about like Pee-wees, I played for SDIA, and then I went up to Orange County actually to play Pee-wee Double A for 1 year, and I was driving 90 miles every day for practice, and my parents weren't really liking that. So we came back down to the Gulls for Bantams and through midgets too. And my midget 16 AAA year, it was so like there was. I mean, I'm sure you guys know that 16, like when you get in the AAA area, San Diego isn't that like it's not the best level compared to the Kings and the Ducks. Um, so I was getting pressure to go up to the Kings and spend tons of money, and so my dad actually took the initiative to bring a bunch of those guys down to San Diego, so we could be more focused on development rather than, hey, I'm going to pay a bunch of money, go to a bunch of tournaments, and kind of go from there. It was, hey, we're going to focus down here, and we're going to get a good coach who can develop the players more than other clubs. And so for me that year, I actually went to my parents and I was like, hey, can you guys let me do some independent study? So I didn't go to high school. I went once a week to a school and they would give me work and I would go to the rink every single day. And I would do like public session from 8 to 10. I would film myself working on my stride, and then stick time 11:30 to 1. I would work on my hands, my shooting, and then I'd do some schoolwork after that, go to the gym, and then skate with my team for like at 6 p.m. for our practice. And I do that every day playing my junior year of high school. So
You did that for one full year.
yeah, one full year. And that's really, I think, so I played midget 16 AA 2 in San Diego. So my first year of midget, I was 16 AA on the 2 team. And,
Oh, I
like,
didn't know
for,
that. Oh,
yeah, so for guys like my level, like, or in college, Division 1, USHL, it's like they're the best of they're the best, like of growing up, they're usually really good. And from that year and that year, my junior year of high school, that was really my transition into being a high level player and really someone who wanted it. So
wow. That's amazing, huh, Pat?
So that amount of hours is where you learned how to grind it.
pretty much, and that I didn't understand um, really how much it took until I met Noah Babin, and he really took me under his wing and showed me the ropes of like, hey, it's hard, it's really hard. Not everyone does it, and you have to just make a choice that you want it and just go, you know.
Wow.
So
Yeah, for those that don't know, Noah Babin played professional hockey, right?
yeah, yeah.
Local San Diego guy. That's really
So
cool. So during that year, Nate, like in the back of your mind, did you have a vision of what your dream and what your goal was? Kind of talk through that with us.
yeah, I think so. But at that point, my goal was to get a scholarship to play college because I saw, Tyler, and McRae, the guys that, were older than me, I looked up to them and they were my idols for those years because I was a very average player who just wanted to be a college player. And so, Noah would tell me, he'd say, hey, like just visualize yourself there and just strive to that. So I think during that year, every single thing I did, I was like, hey, like this is gonna get me there, and that mentality really helped for sure, I think. So
That's really cool. Really cool. What advice do you have for a kid that's maybe might squirts, peewees, bams, even midgets that they want to get to that next level? Like, what advice would you give them?
um so I think one thing that I regret, not regret, but wish I had more of was confidence at those young ages when it things matter, but like it does not matter as much as juniors when it's like really a lot of money's on the line and jobs. So like at those young ages, I think if you just play with confidence, and not worry about anything and just kind of go and do your thing and make mistakes. Like it's there's not really a harm at that young of an age. And I wish that I took more chances and played. See, like you got to have a balance between what the coach wants you to do and what you want to do, you know? So like you have to be a good teammate, right? You have to pass, you have to you have to listen to the coach, but you have to take those chances so you learn how to play, you know? And I think like the top level guys have always done that, and that's why they have the confidence to pull those stuff off in the higher levels.
That's a great point. That's
Yeah.
something that you think your son Simon will be able to take in and work on, Pat?
Yeah, and that's something that is, that was a struggle for me as well. There were a lot of times that when I first started, switching back to cycling for a second, when I first started racing, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, a bit obsessive, and I think at high levels of athleticism, I think most high level athletes do exhibit those two traits as well. We get hard on ourselves. We want to do things right. And the worst thing that I can see in myself, and sometimes mirrored in him, is wanting so badly to do something right, you hold yourself back. And you hold yourself back from trying new things. You get into a comfort zone. And it's the exact opposite. And so it's a conflict that we have, I think, as athletes. We get comfortable in doing those things that just come really fast and natural to us, and we don't take the risks at a young age, to the point where, we get comfortable with being uncomfortable with the physical aspect, but the psychological aspect is something totally different. And so, I see that absolutely with Simon, with a couple of the other kids he plays mites, and even a couple of the other kids on the team. I think they're too hesitant or unwilling to make a mistake, and that is really the best way to learn the flow of the game. It's such a fast game. Yeah. And being able to make mistakes at that, like you say, Nate, at the younger age, it's only going to get to be a faster game.
Oh, yeah.
And even mites are moving pretty quick on the ice. At every age level up, it gets faster and faster. Right. And so being able to be more comfortable with making those mistakes and the psychological aspect, and not getting into your own head and beating yourself up. Oh, yeah. And saying, well, so I messed up that pass, but next time I know what I can do better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can relate on that. I remember going from Pittsburgh to playing prep school hockey in Massachusetts. I always had a strong work ethic, but I just remember during those 4 years, I lost all confidence for me personally. And looking back on it, there's really no reason to feel that way. It's just something internally I struggled. Like I was going up there, and I think I put all the other players around me on like a pedestal. Like, oh, this kid, there's a chance he could get drafted this year. Like that just seemed unreal. Or like this kid, a couple of seniors, they have Division I scholarship offers. And I'm just a kid coming from Pittsburgh, playing for the Amateur Penguins where I did well. Like I think in the back of my mind, there's a sense of like, maybe I don't belong here yet. It took me some time to learn that. If I were to go back in time, I had that magic time machine. I'd definitely just go out there, like Nate said, and just act like you belong there. Have that vision, and no one can take that dream away from you. And you can see how far that's definitely taken Nate. I mean, especially coming from, San Diego. I'm sure, Nate, you can talk about this more, but coming from San Diego, did you ever face any scrutiny of people thinking, oh, this kid's from San Diego, hockey can't be that big down there, right? Like, who is this kid?
Yeah, for sure. Especially like my first year going to Michigan, it's you kind of have to earn everyone's respect because, you're not from the hockey hotbed of America. In Detroit, at least, so it was definitely a learning curve.